Hello and welcome to week 5, the last week of AC1160, Advanced Accounting Fundamentals. Remember that it is the last week and therefore everything needs to be in by Sunday of the last week. There is no late work on week 5 of the course. That being said, I do want to point out that the grades will push out of my hands on Tuesday. I will have very little control over any grade changes after Tuesday. Therefore, you want to check the grades that should be in there hopefully by Monday night, but Tuesday at noon for sure. You want to go in there and check. If there's any questions or any problems, contact me as soon as possible before Tuesday evening, because then the grades will be out of my hands. If there's any last minute changes or any last minute problems that we need to discuss, we need to talk about them very early after the close of week 5. That being said, let's take a look at what we have. Remember that the contact information is here with the email address, the phone number, email probably being the best way to contact me. We've got the one last office hours down here, Monday 6 p.m. Pacific. Not required, but the time is carved out for you if you need it at that time. If we scroll down to the current week we're in, week 5, final week, we've got the objectives, we've got the topics, we've got the lessons. We're going to be continuing on chapter 13, the chapter that we started last time, corporations, and we will only have this one chapter, no new material at this time, so hopefully we might be able to have a little more time to catch up on anything that we may need to be catching up on in the final week. We then have, of course, our lectures down here. You can check the YouTube page to find those as well. And then we have the work that needs to be done from the discussion forums on down. Discussion forums, remember that we need at least 4 posts. I would post more than 4 posts in order to make sure to get full credit, because discussion forums are worth 21% of the grade. Big piece of the grade for discussion forums. Make sure to get full credit on those. You have the most control over those in order to get all those points. Then everything else from the assignments, homework, quizzes will be in Connect. So I would get in the practice of checking them off in here just to get in that practice so you don't miss anything from this class or any future classes. But the work for everything forward will be in Connect on week 5. So if we go into Connect and we open up the current week that we are in, we should have by now the familiar layout. We've got the Learn Smarts here, so you want to go through the Learn Smarts, and then we have the assignments that will be a bit longer assignments. Remember that if there is a paperclip, it is not to be turned in. It's just something that can be helpful with the longer assignments. So this paperclip will have an Excel sheet. That Excel sheet will have instructional videos that will go along with this assignment, this problem, and you can use that to supplement the work in this problem. Going back to Moodle Rooms over here, remember to take the midterm or the final by the end of the course. Once again, that's going to be worth the most amount of points. It's worth the most amount of the quizzes and midterm and final section of the points. So do not get a 0 on that. Complete that before the close of the class. Going over here, going to go to the grade book on the left-hand side, the green icon. Remember that grades are going to be graded by basically Tuesday at noon following the close of the week. So week 4 closes on Sunday. Grades should be updated by Tuesday at noon. You want to go in here and have a visualization of what this should look like, then confirm that it matches the visualization that you have. And for example, the week 4 discussion form should go from a dash to hopefully 100%, because you're going for 100% on those. We will have the week 4 quiz. We'll have the assignments up through week 4 as well as the homework. Anything that is a 0 in here after that time, you're going to want to see if you can pick it up in week 5, the final week, and see if you can pick that up at that time. Same for week 5. Remember that you want to have everything in week 5 done by the end of the week 5. No late work for the last week. If there's any problems, you want to contact me as soon as possible, because the grades will be out of my hands by Tuesday night. So you want to check the grade books on Tuesday and just make sure there's no problems. And if there are, let me know as soon as possible. Last thing I want to point out is that if there were any unusual circumstances, such as like a sickness or something strange that happened that prevented anybody from getting any work done, it may be possible to file a 2-week extension. You would have to do that before the close of the class in order for it to be accepted. I would not recommend doing that unless there is no other, as a last resort, basically. But if anybody falls into that category and needs a 2-week extension or wants to look into that possibility, now is the time to ask about it. Contact me on that. We can discuss that option if it may be applicable in certain situations. That's going to be it for week 5, the last week of the course. Have a good closing week. And then we have the instructor survey down here. This is mainly geared towards the instructor's performance and not geared so much towards things that the instructor does not have control over. So some of the things that the instructor does not have control over are the amount of material that's going to be in the course, the use of technologies such as Connect, and the Moodle Room setup, how Moodle Room is set up. If you have questions about those things, then please put those into the comments in the survey, and I will relay those. Hopefully we can relay those to the design team, who is the one in charge of that type of stuff. The information that the instructor does have control over is basically how fast they get back to student comments, how much they're going to post to the discussion forums, any added resources on top of the McGraw-Hill and Moodle Rooms added for use and benefit of students. Those are the types of things there. Charter College policy generally expects around a 90% for instructor performance on those.